In 2024, getting shit done might be the problem of the century. Our environment is just built in a way that makes focus and prioritization nearly impossible. And this is probably why you're here, because you look for an antidote for this endless procrastination, lack of direction, and lack of focus. And I'm Archer, by the way. I call myself a business psychologist. This is someone with a background in psychology, neuroscience, and business. But here I am, specialized actually in productivity coaching. And all of this, to be honest, has been my own problem as well. Believe me, I was a good for nothing at school. I repeated 2 years of high school because I just failed too much. But I was the creative type. I was starting projects, I was leading people, I was a pioneer, but I was actually never finishing my projects. And it took me about 10 years to get through this. But psychology and research has helped me to overcome these challenges at least. It might even have been ADHD, and I might even have the tools to diagnose myself. But nowadays I fixed it, I feel great, and probably I'm the happiest person you ever met. So let me tell you a little bit how this 3-month productivity coaching has come to life. Well, for some years I've been doing business coaching, I was scaling businesses, but to be honest, it wasn't really my passion to work all around the business. My passion was, and still is, people. So without jumping too far off topic, I switched my focus and started to work with the leaders, work with the CEOs of the companies. And without even noticing, the productivity coaching was just the most in demand thing, and it was just the thing that I'm best at. And I know it firsthand through dozens of clients. CEOs are not perfect. CEOs are not people that just work hard and achieve everything they want. There's just so much going on in their lives, in their business, in their families, in their hobbies, in their habits, right? There's so many tasks that they actually have to juggle. I always say it's like they try to be everywhere, but then they end up being nowhere. I was speaking they, but I'm actually speaking to you. So what I do now over a period of 1 to 3 months of coaching, I turn CEOs into clear and structured goal achievers. Overcoming procrastination, becoming more focused, and straighten up the priorities. And it's not like a magical, fancy, sexy strategy. It's just raw, science-backed up technique to get shit done. But to go into more detail how it looks like, is we set a 90-day goal, we break it down into monthly and weekly achievables, and first start like an action plan. The golden nugget of my coaching is that every week then something goes wrong, right? And the goal is to tackle that problem, improve it, and retry again next week. And I just have like an endless set of techniques from psychology and neuroscience. So in essence, we focus on the how you can improve. And I call this active scenario coaching instead of just theory. Or in easy words, one more time, we get shit done. We set measurements, we set targets, and we build a system that in the future you can use also without me, which presents the ultimate goal. You become more productive and independent of me within 3 months. Otherwise, it defeats the purpose. And this is why accountability coaching is really not it. They just help you as they are around, they are your human calendar and reminder. And I just bring you way much more value than that. But alright, I'm talking so much, but let's give you some credible info. This is probably the next thing a CEO would ask, like, what is this kid? What can he teach me? So let's bombard you with some proof. I do agree that a master's in psychology and neuroscience means nothing by itself. But in my case, I live and love this. I mean, in my free time, I read about brains and working memory, and I apply the learnings into my teachings. I test and acquire real, measurable results. I mean, after all, I have coached 100+ people, and just most of them turned out to be entrepreneurs and CEOs. But let's zoom into one use case to give you an idea of how it looks like. So here we have Fabian, a CEO living in Dubai and running a really successful writing service. Actually so successful that he doesn't have to spend many hours in the business. However, this was not to his liking. He feels stagnated, he feels a bit purposeless, he feels like his time was just a waste. He wanted to work more actively in growing the business, maybe starting another business, getting his habits straight, and so on. We have set tons of goals, and after my coaching we achieved this. He was able to read 2 books a month, 3 months in a row, which was impossible before. He started doing sports 7 times a week. He started spending more active hours in growing his business and achieving it. He made massive new progress in starting a new AI company. And at the same time, he increased his social and networking life. And what I thought was structure, focus, prioritization, but also social skills, relaxing techniques, and habit building. So I really can adapt to nearly any problem statement with one of my techniques. But I also have achieved stuff myself. I started a 6-figure events company when I was a student and I sold it. I led the growth of a global robotics company all over Europe. Around that time, I started growing other businesses, scaling businesses around me, and supporting people with my coaching. I was able to afford a time and location independent life. And I moved to Japan and lived my dream life in Okinawa Island. And now Now I am the COO of a Japanese holding company, but I still focused most of my time into coaching. Nowadays, most of my clients are in Australia as the time difference has become very difficult between Japan and the US. Alright, I talked so much, let me get to the point. The next step is a strategy call. We check your situation, we check the match, and if you love it, you go for it, and if not, I will still give you some tips that you can implement right away. I guarantee you the time will not be wasted. So let me summarize it to you before I hint at the small button below. So this is a 3-month productivity package where you become independent of me after 3 months. And this is how it goes. You join a free strategy call, get some answers, and then you start working with me. We then would meet once a week, starting with an analysis and a goal refinement round. And then we jump straight into action. We use Trello, a free and simple project management tool, and use the templates I created in order to get the action rolling. And week by week, we work on the shortcomings and improve you and make you a better and more productive person. This is actually what makes you grow and become independent of me. I teach you things in between. I'm not just an accountability coach. And you will go from procrastinating, unfocused, unclear, to a fast, sharp, and clear. And you will live a more fulfilled work and private life. And the return on investment is you. We will basically increase your value per hour. And the more you achieve, the greater the return. So getting things done is the real deal. So click the button below and let's talk.